We're back with chapter 2 of Simple Machines. This one's called Getting Around. How do wheels and pulleys work? Remember that wheels and axles and pulleys were 2 of the 6 simple machines. So those are the 2 we're going to be focused on today. A wheel is one of the most important discoveries of all time. Before the wheel was invented, people had to push or drag heavy objects. When wheels were created, people could use carts and wagons to carry their loads. Today, we use wheels on trucks, cars, and buses. They help us move heavy loads and people over long distances. The earliest record of a wheel dates back to about 3,500 BCE. So, just for reference, that's over 5,000 years ago. Big wheels. Wheels and axles. Ancient civilizations built cities out of stone. Heavy stone blocks were moved by placing logs underneath them. The blocks could roll more easily on the logs than on the ground. The logs worked like wheels. Try this using some crayons. Line 5 of them up on a table. Place the crayon box on top of them. Can you move the box across the table using the crayons like wheels? Ancient Egyptians used simple machines to help them move heavy stones for pyramids. Egyptians built pyramids to hold the bodies of their dead leaders. Larger bike wheels cover more distance with one turn than smaller bike wheels. Look at the bottom of a skateboard. Each set of wheels is attached to a thin bar called an axle. When this axle makes one complete turn, so do the wheels. The size of the wheels increases the mechanical advantage. If a skateboard's wheels make one complete turn, the skateboard moves a few inches. If a car's wheels make one complete turn, the car may move a few feet. The axle just needs to turn once. The larger wheels travel a longer distance in one rotation. Notice the difference in size in those wheels. Wheels also make work easier by cutting down on friction. It is easier to roll your backpack across the floor on a skateboard than it is to drag it without one. The wheels change the amount of force needed to move the object. The size and the hardness of a skateboard wheels affect how fast you travel. Skateboards were invented by surfers who wanted to practice when they weren't around water. Water power. For hundreds of years, people used the power of rivers to turn large wooden water wheels, moving water pushed on the blades of the wheel. This turned an axle inside the mill. The axle moved parts on machines that ground grain into flour. Remember Nicolas, Angel, and Matthias studied this for their science fair project. Now we're going to talk about pulleys. Sails are usually shaped like squares or triangles. Sailors use pulleys to raise and lower sails. Pulleys. Sailors hurry to raise their ship's sail when the wind blows. They pull down on the rope of a pulley to lift up a sail. That's a lot easier than climbing the mast and raising the sail by hand. The pulley is a wheel with a groove around its edges. A rope or cord is threaded through the groove. Pulleys change the direction of a force. Instead of pulling up to lift an object, you need to pull down. That makes it a lot easier to lift heavy objects. There is no mechanical advantage to using a single pulley. Your pulling force is equal to the force that lifts the object. The pulley just changes the direction of the force, which makes the job easier. Lots of pulleys working together, however, can help lessen the force you need to use and give you a mechanical advantage. More rope is needed, so the work is spread out over a longer distance. Cranes use pulleys to lift heavy loads. Catapults, a type of lever, were important weapons in Europe during the Middle Ages. We'll get to talk about catapults and some other simple machines in Chapter 3, but I hope you enjoyed Chapter 2 on wheels and axles and pulleys. Remember that wheels actually have a mechanical advantage. The bigger the wheel, the more mechanical advantage, because the axle only needs to turn once to move the wheel a complete rotation. With pulleys, a single pulley has no mechanical advantage, but it helps change the direction of the force. And that can be very useful, especially when you're trying to lift something that's way up high. When we add multiple pulleys together, the distance of the rope adds to the mechanical advantage because the force is done over a longer distance. All right, that's what you needed to know about wheels and axles and pulleys. See you in the next chapter for more simple machines.